welcome to the Krazecast, the podcast run by the fans for the fans that brings close to the action. My name is Roxy, and today I'm joined by my fellow host, Jay.
Hello.
And our podcast editor, Robin.
Hello.
Hello. To keep up with all our content, be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at CrazeMag, and YouTube, The Craze. And if you're watching this on YouTube, before we begin, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch our next episode, and hit that bell for notifications for when we upload new videos.
So, for our next topic, we're going to talk about organic K-pop.
Oh, gosh.
So, to you guys, what is your definition of organic K-pop?
Oh gosh, this is a hard topic.
Music produced by the performers.
Okay.
I just say that because I am a person that did the heavy metal to K-pop route, not emo. I was not an emo kid. I was a heavy metal kid. And in that industry, the artists control everything, right? Unlike our pop industry has the producers, the songwriters, all of that, and the performers. But in the metal scene, basically the bands run everything. So to me, that has more meaning. But at the same time, I do think there are instances of K-pop where you have a producer or songwriter working with the artist that is very, like, genuine. So it's not as black and white. Like, it doesn't have to be made by the artist. I've just found songs where the performers are involved tends to have more meaning. Their music seems to be worth something. It's not just like something made to go viral, if that makes sense.
The more involved the idols, the better.
Yeah.
What about you, Jay?
I think also, well, I guess I'm coming from an older mindset of being a fan of, like, the come up was like gradually happen.
Not like today where it's like, oh, you debut under Hype, boom, you're big.
Not like New Jeans, basically.
But I'm not gonna knock their songs because I like their songs.
Their songs do be catchy, okay? Like, I get it. They finally got me, but still.
Like, I guess it's just the anticipation, I guess, factor of it, I feel like is much more organic to me, where it's just like, it's not associated with the label per se, but like the teasers, like the marketing that they put out for these groups, genuinely capturing my attention and being like, oh, wait a minute, like, this is a concept or a style or a sound that I really like. Let me just try. And you know what? I can say this about, I'm very, very glad that we did this as a rookie highlight at one point. Roxy introducing me to XG. If she didn't put me on the list for XG, I wouldn't be invested as how I am right now.
I put you on the list for XG. What did I do?
You put the name on the list, or the name, because I didn't know who these rookie groups are. You know, you were just like, hey, here's the list of rookie groups. Let's look into it. And I remember when we were doing that rookie roundup, XG was the name of a girl group that really stuck out to me. And if Roxy didn't put that name on that list, I wouldn't know who they are. And then, so it's just like these smaller groups, yes, they're more indie, but it's just like, wait, this is a sound. I like their sound. I like their style. I can get behind this girl group. And then Mascara came out, and now they just made the comeback with Shooting Star. And I'm just like, I really like this. To me, that feels organic, where I can just be like, here's a name. I don't really know anybody else or anything about them. Check them out. And you want to be more invested. That's how I feel like it's organic to me. Knowing like, okay, like there's something that I don't really hear much else going on about this group, or like there's just something that like I'll watch one thing and something captures my attention and I'm like, okay, I'll invest my time. To me, that's organic. I know everybody else's definition can be different.
Right.
So yeah, it's just like, it's hard when you have the big flashy stuff. Not to say that it's bad. It's just like, sometimes I kind of miss when budget wasn't a factor about wanting to capture the attention of, you know, a group or an artist.
It makes others at a disadvantage, right? So like my example for New Jeans, because they are under the Hive label, although that the woman who produces them wants to argue about this, but because it's that label, they already almost have a guaranteed set of success, essentially. And just having like good music on top of that is what made them skyrocket, I would say. Very catchy music, stuff like that. But I don't know. I think when you start from something smaller and have to work harder, there's just a more honesty put into it, or more like a more, I don't even know how to put it into words. I think of BTS this way. Like the reason I think BTS is so big, especially if you paid attention when they were before they blew up. Like in 2013, Big Hit was like barely able to feed them. They were running out of money, shit like that. They struggled to get any attention on anything because of the big three. Groups from the big three would take up all the airtime. So they really had to put everything into getting attention and getting sales. And I feel like the reason people connect so much with BTS is because their music is written by them for the most part. They're very involved in the creation of their music, or at least they were. And there was a message that people could really resonate with in that music. And that's what made them so popular, is that this is like, people hear their own experiences through the music and it translates and makes them feel good. And I think that's what makes them feel organic to me as artists. So I prefer artists that seem genuine as opposed to mass produced for popularity. And that's just because I'm like a go against the grain kind of person, obviously. So there are certain K-pop songs that I'm like, this is made to go viral. Like, I don't think there's anything behind this. It's like a basic song with basic lyrics that's catchy so that this group will get more attention, more sales. But I just think that to me just makes it seem so shallow.
Yeah, I get, yeah. And I think also when it comes to being organic in K-pop is like, we come from an era where, like, remember when the milestones were like, it took longer to get to those milestones.
The milestones were like 100,000.
Yeah. And then once you got to that million, you're like, whoa, you did that, you know? And now that's such an easy achievement now for a lot of more bigger groups. It's still harder for the small ones that are trying to put out their names out there, and like, because there's such an oversaturation of so many groups. Not only they already debuted but are also debuting or in the process of debuting, it's harder for them to get those numbers, you know, per se, if you're not associated with it. So pros and cons to that, but like, I guess I miss that feeling of like, oh my god, they did that. I can't believe it.
You literally kind of like led into my next question. I was gonna ask, do you feel like with like organic K-pop today for older fans, it's kind of like a nostalgic way of going back into the past K-pop? Like, let's say you're an older fan and you like, yeah, you listen to all these like newer groups, but then you see like a group like kind of debuting from a smaller company, not part of the big four, you know? Do you feel like that kind of like is like a blast to the past by supporting a smaller group?
Yeah,
I would say to an extent, because I really felt this way about ATEEZ when they debuted. They're not from like a small company, but KQ was not the biggest company. So I remember when they came out with Hala Hala, I was like, I had the similar feeling that I did when I first saw like BTS stuff, and I was like, this is it. They're gonna be something. So I do think there is definitely a factor in that. Like you
There's like
kind of
that
latch on to like something that you were that felt a lot to you at the time, and then seeing it recreated makes you feel
that
things.
nostalgic feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's how I feel about XG right now. It's just like, oh my God. Like, first of all, like they're all so cute and pretty. I love their style, you know, and you're just like, oh my God, must protect. You know, I just like I want them to do well, you know, because I think I like with a group like XG where primarily all of their members are all Japanese, but they're promoting in Korea and they're doing songs in English too, you know, and it's just like one of those more like, this is different, but you're coming out with really great music. I like your style. And so I want to like root for them. And I was just like, yeah, they're like, this is for me, like, they're the future. Like, they're one of the groups that I feel like give them some more time. This girl group is going to be huge. Like, that's like when I approach some of these smaller groups or like newer groups that manage to really capture my attention, and we're like, be on the lookout. Like, you just don't know it, but this group is gonna be big. And I hope so. Really hope so. And so it just makes you want to root for them even more. And so I come from the realm of, I want to protect this girl group so bad. Please don't go away. I really like you. I'm gonna be really sad kind of situation.
So then, in y'all's opinion, what group do you think is like the best example of organic in K-pop? Other than BTS, we can't say BTS because obviously BTS is a good example, but like
a more
other than
current
BTS,
one?
Huh?
Are we talking about a more current group?
Any group, like it could be old, new.
I mean, I obviously, since I made the connection already, I would say ATEEZ.
ATEEZ.
Yeah, because I think Hongjoong to me reminds me a lot of Yoongi, just because he's like spends so much time working on music, and does so much for the group, stuff like that. And I think they sort of ran too with like the concept, like the intense concept thing. We didn't really get that until like BTS and EXO also did it with their fucking superpower shit, like the super in-depth insane concept shit going on. So now ATs are like pirates in space that are overthrowing the government and time traveling shit like that, which is a little much for me. But I mean, like, I just think they're attached to their music. I think you can tell if a group doesn't really connect with their own music, if that makes sense.
Right.
So I think they're a group that connects with their music and puts their own heart into it.
I don't know why when you said that, I immediately thought of Red Velvet and how much they hate Rookie. I don't know why. Maybe that was the first thing that came to mind.
I mean, that was a kind of a repetitive song. I get it, but
I hate that song from them.
We featured it back in the day.
I know.
On a monthly.
Yes, but it's still a song that I don't like. That and sorry, I have to put that out there.
I don't like a lot of their Red concepts anymore. Although, like, Red Flavor was like the fucking bomb.
Bad Boy. That's it.
That was my era for them. Anyways, going back on, I think for me, God, okay, like there's two groups who come to mind aside from BTS. I just like how how their come up was to me, and learning about how their comeback is. First of all, the first one was SHINee for me. Like immediately when you posed that question, I was like SHINee. Like, because yes, they were from SM, they were still the smaller group, but like as they got more into their style and their music, and it just felt right.
Right.
They knew what they were doing. They knew their style. And you know that the members have worked on, Junghyun had worked on some of their music too. And so it's just like you can tell like this was SHINee. This was SHINee, and it will always be SHINee's thing. And even now, when I'm so excited for this comeback that's about to happen this year. First of all, because we're gonna get all of them back again. Like even though they dipped into different styles and concepts, it still fit SHINee, and they knew how to execute it really well. And it, like, you know, because they were in second gen where, you know, it wasn't as high intense, like when there was, now there's more budget. Back then it was still kind of like,
yeah,
we had to work our way up there and get ourselves to where we are now. And so to see them go from like, this is just a small rookie group, boy group in from SM. Let's see where this goes. They had really great songs because I feel like SM knew what they were doing when they came up with SHINee. And then to just see them now, and it's just like, wow, I'm like really happy to be a fan.
it's like a humbling experience, you know?
Yeah, like I'm very, very just happy to see the growth happen. And even though they've been around for so long, nothing has changed.
Right.
It's still impactful. Their music still gets you. Their solo stuff still fucking gets you. Like, listen, their solo stuff, like, it's just to that, for me, it's the extension of their SHINee universe, you know? And it still feels like, yes, we are doing solo stuff, but it still has this SHINee like thing to them.
See,
And
that's where like that falls into the category for me of like groups that very much put their heart into their music, and it's like an intangible thing that I can't explain. But if you give me a group, I could be like, yes, that's like they're that or they're not.
What you said, it's just like their heart is in their music.
There's like a piece of them in it, and you can feel it.
Yeah. And it didn't matter whether they're going solo or as the group, you can still feel it. Like, and it just works for SHINee and like these groups who are like this. Another one for me, yes, I'm gonna talk about them. Sorry, I have to bring up Stray Kids.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
that was coming. That was coming. And just like, again, another group where you can feel their members who have worked on their music. You can feel Three Racha in their songs. You can feel it. Concepts might not necessarily be a concept that, you know, that they thought of themselves, and that's fine, but the music, you and the heart that they put into it, and the effort and the everything that is the package of Stray Kids, to me, is why I was just like, I kind of am like, why did I get into them sooner kind of situation. But knowing what they had gone through, because they were another group like twice where they were like part of that survival, curating their group. And then you see them now, and you like, till now you can feel the heart in their music, just like SHINee. Not to say that there's not groups that don't have their heart in it, but there's sometimes where it's just like there is that gleaming factor that you can just, you know, it's there.
The word that came to my mind was manufactured. Like, I think you can tell the difference between something that is manufactured and that is not.
Right.
Like, there are some manufacturing isms of what went into the creation of this group, but you can tell when like the song is just like here for the sake of putting out a song here.
Yeah.
For some of these groups.
So like for me personally, 3 groups come to mind. One, GOT7, duh. Because, and like, not beginning GOT7, obviously, because
no, that's the interesting thing about GOT7 is because in the beginning it was very much just JYP.
It was very much JYP, but you hit 2016, 2017 when JB started doing their shit. Boom, like, bye JYP, we don't need you, goodbye. Like that's where you can see like they're committed, they're growing, they're getting bigger. And that JB's a better producer than JYP. Okay, but then the second group I think of is Infinite. Because Woolim, brand new, Infinite first group. And they built that group from the bottom up, or that company from the bottom up. And though like they didn't have much say in like, you know, the production and all that, like if you think about it, if it wasn't for Infinite, all these Woolim groups that debuted wouldn't have happened, even though I think there's only like 2 groups, maybe 3 outside of Woolim. But like I just think of Infinite because like Infinite, I don't think people really realize how big Infinite really was in K-pop back in the day. Like Infinite was huge. And then the third one I have to say is two groups, but like same company, Sistar and Boyfriend.
Oh, out for my heart.
Because
Yes.
they debuted for Starship. Yeah, Starship. Am I right? Okay. They debuted for Starship and built that company from the ground up. And I just want Boyfriend to get the recognition they deserve. God damn it.
Yeah, you know, the sad thing is like 85% of the people you talk to wouldn't even know who Boyfriend is.
Right. Which was sad because that was their first boy group.
First boy group. First time doing anything of that sort. First group to disband in the weirdest fucking way. But then come back 2 years later for their 10-year anniversary and is still actively promoting, but under a different name and a smaller label. Boyfriend's
See,
doing it all.
I didn't even know that. What
That
label
I
are they
didn't
under?
know either. I did not
Yeah,
know that.
they came back for their 10-year anniversary, which was in
That I
2021.
know, but I didn't know that
And
they were under another
they
company.
still actively promote as a group.
All of them?
Ooh,
Yeah,
wait a
all of
minute.
them. All 6 members.
God.
Well, what's the group name?
BF.
Ah. Oh, wait, now I remember hearing about that. Briefly. They still don't get a lot of attention though.
No, not at all.
Very underrated group. Like,
Yes.
hey, is it Janice? That was
Janice.
still my song. That is my song.
I fell in love with the twins.
Same.
The twins were my biases, so
Minu was my favorite.
I liked Youngmin. Youngmin was the dork. I mean, not the dork, but like the older brother, but like was also like, I'm clumsy, I'm quirky.
I'm not like other boys.
Yeah, basically. But like those are the groups that come to mind because like for me, my definition of K-pop, like organic K-pop, is like kind of like growing a company from the ground up.
You know who I thought of too? Now that you just brought that up, Astro. Like I love because they did the whole cutesy thing, and then
We don't talk about it. Don't talk about that. Let's just get really like let's just skip all of that and get to Crazy Sexy Cool. Okay, let's just
listen. Once they came out with Crazy Sexy Cool, it was just like, wait a minute.
let's just skip all of that and go to Crazy Sexy Cool, shall we?
Hey, but I liked like debut, like beginning eras of Astro. That was really cute. You know, it's another example of like, yeah, sure that they had they had a concept, but you know that Jinjin also worked on Astro stuff.
Yeah.
Jinjin and Rocky, right?
Yeah.
So like, it was one of those things. Yeah, we're coming out with the cute. Their summer concepts are my favorite.
Like I had my first
Astro.
age crisis because of Astro.
Me too. Me too.
Yes, I agree. And
the cutesy didn't help, so I was like, I'm gonna avoid this at all costs. Like I can't like mentally deal with this. So
and then they came out with Crazy Six Cool, and you're like, who are you?
That was a good song, dude, though.
It was a good song. I still go back to that song.
It's just like I remember why I started biasing Astro, and it was because I was like, ooh, 98 liner. Because you know, me being young, like born in 98 and like growing up in the age of K-pop where everyone's fucking older than you, it was so weird at that time to finally start seeing third gen debuting groups that were born at the same age as me. So it's like 98 liner, and now they're all debuting groups that are younger than me, and I feel old.
Oh yeah, welcome to the club. I felt old because of Astro. I saw 99. I was like, what the fuck do you mean 1999? I didn't know people were born in 1999.
It's like, where, when? For us, it's like, you're 6 years younger than me. What?
But no. I do agree with the Astro. You know, I'm gonna say another one too. Vix.
Oh, them too. Yeah. Like their come up too was like no one was doing it like they were doing it. And then the moment they started to step into the darker, like heavier concepts was just a game changer.
No one talks about their debut concept. Don't if you're gonna look at Vix's discography, just don't look at the debut. Just don't look at the debut. Because I feel like with every group hates their debut. Let's be honest.
Yeah, because like I love BTS's debut song, but everybody hates it. And I love EXO's debut song, and people shit on that all the time too.
Out of everyone here, how do you guys like girls?
Hey, I
do
do.
not like. Okay,
I
I only liked girls if they do the remix that they do at their concerts.
Okay, but I love that song. See, I'm telling you, I
girls,
love debuts.
girls.
They all hate them, but I love debuts.
I loved girls because that's what introduced me to me being biased about Mark.
That
So
shit was like, so wow. Catchy.
Yes,
like I know JYP did it, but it was really fucking catchy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they knew what they were doing once they released that. You're like, oh fuck.
Wait, now I just want to know like what other debuts Roxy likes, because like there's so many that I hate.
Well, why don't you start listing the ones you hate, and we'll
Clap by Teen Top. Clap.
Oh, I haven't watched. I never got into Teen Top.
No,
so.
I did not like Clap.
Fucking stupid.
Because I hear Crab, not.
No, let's be honest. Teen Top's discography from like 2010 until about 2012 was actually trash because Super Love.
Hey, listen.
Super Love exists.
Love is my. I tease Robin with this. Listen, I'm gonna ruin some lyrics and songs for you guys if you haven't known. Listen, it's supposed to be Super Love, but I can't unhear Soup Love, like Campbell's chicken.
Are we gonna talk about this at some point in a different
one? We are.
Yes, we are.
we are. But we'll ruin a couple. But yeah, no. I hear Crab, not Clap, unfortunately, because I'm just like, damn it,
dude. Teen Top's another example though, like of like building a company from the ground up too.
Yeah, because they had Andy. But
I have twisted feelings about Andy, dude.
But that didn't work out entirely great.
Well, like, let's be honest. I feel like with Teen Top is kind of like with like I'm not comparing them to BAP. I'm just using BAP as a comparison. I feel like if Top Media actually cared about Teen Top, just like how if TS actually cared about BAP, they would have been bigger.